All right, guys, welcome back again, and thank you for joining. Um, at this point of the video, I believe everybody has installed Visual Studio, and then you guys have also built your very first project, which is a console application that runs on your console. And then if you hit the play button here, your console application should start and print out a message in your console that says, "Hello world, my name is David." All right. So in this video, I would want to make you guys get comfortable with the Visual Studio. So the Visual Studio is an integrated development environment. What that means is that you could use the Visual Studio to build web applications, games, mobile applications, and different different fun stuff. All right. So on your right hand panel of your very first project in the Visual Studio is your Solution Explorer. So on your Solution Explorer, you can see what constitutes your project. So right now, our project, which is my very first project, is made up of dependencies and a file called program.cs. So right now, the dependencies are the default dependencies that comes with any .NET project, and you can expand on it, and you can see like two sub items. One is called the analyzer and the other is the framework. You can expand the analyzer and then you can see the bunch of dependencies, that default dependencies that make up your project. So go ahead and collapse this stuff because we don't need to know that for now. All right, the next thing you would notice is there is something called program.cs. So now what is program.cs? Program.cs is actually a C# file that lives inside of your project. So it's a C# file, and that C# file contains a class. All right, so you might not necessarily see the class here because in this version of .NET, they have removed a bunch of stuff, So just know that the program.cs is a file, and it's a file that is on your computer. So if you right click on the program.cs and you can click on open containing folder, you would see in reality where that file lives inside of your computer. So you can see the file exists in c/user/david/source/repos, which is actually that default location we left it as when we were building the project. If you can remember, there was a default location that we chose not to change, and that is where our actual project lives inside of our computer. So just have it at the back of your mind that the Solution Explorer just shows you what is inside of um your project, and you could use the Solution Explorer to add stuff to your project. So for example, if I want to add a folder, I could just right click here, and I could right click on my project here, and I could click add, and I'm going to say add a folder, and I want to call that folder my action. All right. So now inside of that folder, I can go ahead and I can right click again, and I can add a new class. So I call that class, I can call that class power.cs. So it's gonna, by default, when you create a class, it comes with a C# file because the class has to live inside of a C# file. So Visual Studio automatically creates a C# file for you with that name. So with the class name. So you can see there's a file called power.cs, and and then if you want to see what constitutes this power.cs class file, you could just double tap on it to open it, and then you would see what makes it up. So right now you can see power.cs is opened up here. I'm going to close this. I'm going to close program.cs. So I just want you to know that you could double tap on an item here, and you can view it on your left. So I double tap on power.cs, and you can see I can view it. So you can see there is a class called power inside of my power.cs file. All right. So, and I can double tap on my program, and program is also open. So this is program.cs, and this is what constitutes program.cs. And I can always, move this, you know, put this at any location. I can drag it out of the screen if I want, simply by holding and dragging it out, or I can hold it back and I place it back to where it was. You know, I just want you guys to feel comfortable with the IDE, feel comfortable with it. So get your hands handy and touchy and touch everything here. And one other important thing that I want you to know is that you can also delete an item from here. So you can click on delete, or you're more than welcome to, find where this item is on your computer. So, like we said, you can see my actions folder now exists on my file explorer. I could delete it here and it disappears from my solution explorer. But I wouldn't advise you to delete stuff from your file explorer. If you want to delete stuff, always delete them from here so you know that it's gone, and then Visual Studio knows that it's also gone. All right. So the next window, or the next thing I want to show you guys, is your output panel. So you can use your output panel. So you look down at the bottom left corner of your screen, you will see error list and you see output. So make sure you are on output, and you could see different, like, compile information about your program, to see if it loaded successfully, or if there's any message, it's going to come through the output panel. The next panel you need to take note of is error list. It's going to tell you if there's an error with your code, whether in compile time or in runtime. And then the package manager console is a place where you can, essentially write commands to download packages, or, do a bunch of like manipulations inside of your, upgrade, or manipulations, inside of your program. But for now, don't worry yourself about the package manager console. Just leave that alone. And like every normal Windows application, you have your file, and you can do a save all to save, or you're more than welcome to hit Control S. I think please use Control S because it's the faster way. So use Control S. So if there's a change, call myself David Matthew, and I've made a change. Once I make a change, you can see the program.cs file has the asterisks here showing that, oh yeah, there's something new here and it needs to be saved. So you just hit Control S, and just take note of the asterisks as I hit Control S, and it's gone. So it's saved. All right. So that is all you have to know. And in our next video, we'll get ourselves handy with actual C sharp code. All right. Thank you.